you go, right? Over here. They come up like most other pets, depopulated places. We sort of things up in the mediator. Detail stands for the drug, logic, and word. We always sort of things up. A lot of stories. So drug, logic, word, you say detail. Not even her buddy. Detail, you know what I'm talking about. Over here, this area right here, heights and yards. The playground structure right there, that way is called the rest. The rest of it is designed by American Thomas Huddleston from England. 16 stories, have their buildings to grow, used to be able to climb. That's called the urge. And what's amazing about the urge is that all up there is an observation connection. You literally have the city at your feet because the floor is made of glass. And each right there, that doesn't mean the tree in the bottom of the boat. It's in the water. That's what it's doing right there. So our Latinos, from them, and piso is medio. I think that's how you say it. Medio. If that's not adventurous enough for you, you can strap yourself in a harness, and you can try and scale it like Bruce Willis in Die Hard. I've never done it, and I kind of proud of myself when I ever do it. Maybe I can just do it. But that's got to be an amazing experience, scaling a building. All throughout our highlands, especially on these older, more Art Deco buildings, big stone structures, and that geometrical shapes and those patterns, like these buildings with the water towers, and that Empire State Building. The Empire State Building is one of my personal favorites. Been seeing it all my life, from my bedroom, in my living room window, lights up every single night. So, in colors that just have to do with what's going on in the world. So like, let's say if it's Christmas time, it'll be red and green. If it's Halloween, it'll be black and orange. If it's Pride Week, it'll be that Roy G. Biv with the rainbow. We're very inclusive here in New York. If the Knicks win, it'll be blue and orange, so it's almost never blue and orange. Am I right? Yeah. Over here we have Chelsea Pierce. Chelsea has a lot of history, especially when it comes to the LGBTQ community. But those structures right there, that's Chelsea Pierce. Chelsea Pierce, you can play just about any sport you can imagine. Tennis, basketball, hockey, has an ice skating rink, bowling, has a golfing area right there. I've never golfed for real, but I hit a hole-in-one once a minute ago. Hopefully that counts for something. Also in Chelsea, you'll see something called a hop at certain points, where you people can actually be walking in between those buildings on this old elevated train platform that we converted into a park of sorts. The highline is amazing. Unfortunately, we can't see it too much because the buildings are blocking it, but you will be walking through on this raised platform, and then it will leave you like around here, by Little Island. Isla Pequeña. Ladies, what do you see when you see those structures? Like what? Like high heels? I've heard that before, it makes sense. It was funded to the city by Don von Furstenberg. Cost her and her husband $260 million. But if you don't, I think she can afford it. They say those are 132 tulips, but I've heard golf cues, I've heard wine stems, I've heard dinosaur skeletons, I've heard garlic, I've heard all types of stuff. But it's architecture, it's where art meets architecture. And with art, a lot of it is just simply subjective, meaning it can be whatever you want it to be. Speaking of art, see that white building I'm pointing at? That one is called the Whitney Museum. So what's amazing about the Whitney Museum is that most art museums, they'll have art for people who have long come and gone. The Picassos, the Rembrandts, so on and so forth. People have passed. But in the Whitney Museum, we have art for people that are currently living, contemporary artists. So that means if you could draw, sketch, sculpt, paint, maybe one day your work would be in the Whitney Museum while you're still living. Also here on the Manhattan side, you see a couple of our buildings have this green trimming at the top. Over there and over there I call them green tops. Kind of similar to the building behind me. Here in the Lackawanna building.
You are?
You guys see the New Jersey side, the Lackawanna building? Here in Lackawanna building has a rich history. It helped bring a lot of goods from the Erie Canal, which is a crazy story within itself, how we built the Erie Canal. But that's another story for another tour. We would bring the goods to the Erie Canal on this railroad that was here. And then it would bring the goods over to New York, so it really helped build up the country. That building right there was really instrumental in that. But back to that green coating. Does anybody know what that green coating might be? Say it again? My man knows his stuff. My man knows his pennies. That's copper. Yeah. So copper goes through this process called oxidation. You guys are in a chemistry class real quick. Oxidation is just when oxygen messes with an element and slowly changes it. Like you guys ever bit into an apple? What color is it at first when you first bite into it? When you bite into an apple, what color is it? It's like white, right? You leave it out for like 10 minutes, what color does it become? Brown, right? That's oxidation. Oxygen messing with it. Are you joking, man? It's fine. I'm not joking. It's your vacation. Speaking of art, no art. We got that place right there. That one going like this. That one is called Water Soul. Espiritismo del Agua. It's about 80 feet tall, size of an 8-story building. Living in a building with 8 levels. A lot bigger in person, right up close. Again, art is subjective, but to me what that means is that the city is it's beautiful chaos, as you can see, people stacked up on top of each other, pollution of all sorts. We have noise pollution, we have cars honking, sirens wailing, we have light pollution, and we have plain old regular pollution. But when you come by the water, you kind of get a break from all that, you get to clear your mind, cleanse your spirit, and the water does its magnificent trick, its magical trick of taking all your stresses away, realigning your chakras. That's Water Soul by an artist named James Spencer. Anybody an architect or engineer on here? Any architects or engineers? Okay. Well, regular human beings like myself. There's one structure over there in New Jersey, and there's another structure over there in New York, in Manhattan. Can anybody help me out and give me a guess on what you think that might be? What is it? One of those two structures. Now speak up, speak up. Get to put in. Anybody else got a guess? You got a guess. What's up? Bridge, the bridge. How you gonna, where's the bridge?
Как дела? Как настроение?
Нравится?
Нравится?
We gotta build that. We'd be really bajillionaires if we start building those. The retractable bridges. What those are the air vents for the Holland Tunnel. I mean, it's partially right. Those are the air vents for the Holland Tunnel. It provides oxygen to the tunnel that we just cruised over. At any given time, there are hundreds of cars commuting back and forth between New Jersey and New York under the water. in the tunnel that goes to the water. We have two of them. The one we just crossed over is called the Holland Tunnel. Called the Holland Tunnel because this is where a lot of the Dutch settlers came, especially down around Battery Park. We'll get into that history in a little while. This is an amazing picture. If you want to grab, you see the water towers on top of these buildings. Within the stark contrast, you have what we call the Jenga building. You ever played the game Jenga? Or you played Tetris and ended up losing it and ended up looking like that? That's a residential building. We call it the Jenga building. It's in the heart of Tribeca, which stands for Triangle Below Canal. Remember, we always shorten things up. And then we have Battery Park City. Home of some of New York's most affluent. One because it's right on the water. Who doesn't like living by the water? They're looking at the Statue of Liberty. We'll get to after we circle around Manhattan. We're going to come back out and shoot out to the Statue of Liberty. But let's focus on these structures over here. I'm not gonna lie, yesterday I was in high school. Where were you boys in September 11th? I was in 12. So, I remember a couple stories I had a fight on September 9th. The city stole one of my CDs. Right about my CD book in the school, and I'm just trying to up to that point and all the lazy hour. The city stole my behind the boy. Arrested me. And on September 10th, I got the rest of him. And then it was September 11th. And I was like, okay. And the latest building. And the Twin Towers, the Twin Towers. And we have to do crazy stuff happens in New York all the time. 8 million people in here at any given moment. So crazy stuff is bound to happen. In fact, this is where the miracle on the Hudson happened. We had to land a plane on the water. But when the second plane hit the building, I really knew we were in trouble. When the teachers released us and said we're under terrorist attack, that was the first. I don't know if y'all ever experienced that, but that was a crazy thing to experience in my city. So me and a couple of my friends, more adventurous school friend, my man Matt and Francisco, when we rode downtown, and we were shocked to see people digging each other out of rubble. We helped out people, get people on the buses, because we used the buses as ambulances. And then for a while, you would see people with these, looking for their loved ones, man. The city was in real turmoil and just a bad vibe, had a bad vibe for quite some time. But since then, we bounced back, because we're resilient. New York is strong. What do you expect from a city with so many cultures coming together in one effort to make this city beautiful? New York is the most diverse place on the planet, especially Queens. But now we have the Freedom Tower in its place as a beacon of hope for a greater future, peace, freedom to live the life, worship whoever you want to, and pursue the American dream. Freedom Tower is the tallest building in our hemisphere, rivaling only in height on Earth by a few buildings. I think the Burj Khalifa in Dubai. Shout out to my people from Dubai. And there's one in Shanghai. It's like a Shanghai tower. But it's the tallest building in the city and tallest building on this side of the earth. Has a 360-degree observation deck. However, it is enclosed, so it's probably not my favorite observation deck. Over here, we have the Museum of Jewish Heritage. A lot of Jews came to America fleeing persecution from various countries, and they came here and built a great legacy. One of my favorite shows, Seinfeld. It comes from somebody from Jewish heritage. Shout out to Jerry Seinfeld and Larry David, amongst many others. The Bill Mars. New York is known for its delis, which comes from delicatessens, which is part of the Jewish heritage. You know, so many cultures left their imprint in this city. You know, Chinatown, Little Italy, which I'll talk about in a little while. But let's talk about the natives. Before this was called New York, the Dutch came here, built these forts down here, see that circular building, and they called it New Amsterdam. Pointing to the Dutch. Hello to the Dutch. They sent a couple sailors, Henry Hudson, which is this waterway is named after, and also a guy named Gianni Verrazzano, which a bridge is named after. It's out there somewhere. But prior to that, we had the Lenape tribe, the Mohegan tribe. We can learn about them in that building right there, that circle building with that green coating at the top, at the Native American Museum. You can learn a little about the tribes and how they call this island Manhattan. Prior to it being called New Amsterdam, and definitely before it was called New York. Now this island's called Manhattan, but prior to that it was called Manhattan. And you can see our bridge structure. At certain points you can always see straight through the island. Yeah, with the Lady Liberty. So let's show you guys the east side of Manhattan. Yeah, if you guys stay in Times Square, you might not come down if you're a little more adventurous. We're a coastal city, so of course we have our United States Coast Guard right here. All that is ocean out there. You guys see that building over there? With the cannon on top? In the distance, see that circular building? Walls are 40 feet high, 8 feet thick. Anybody know what that building might be? This one over here. I saw it in the distance a little bit. Anybody know what that building might be? Or might have been in the past? It was in prison, correct? Yeah. So, that's guys a quick story about this one prisoner. There was this guy named Walter in there. We went to war. We didn't die his draft. We went to war. But then he had like absent leave of absence from war. Kind of like it's bounced a little bit. So I guess they had him locked up. So he was locked up, he was sick. And one of those prison cells, they had drugs and just watched the boat sail back and forth. He would sketch him. I don't know how drunk he was, maybe he did some of his buttons in the lights or something like that. When he came out, he went on to launch his Walt Disney Empire. Walt Disney was in there. Which kind of goes to show you can come from anywhere and do anything. Shout out to Walt Disney. You know that there's a story? If you do some kind of his first cartoons, they have a steamboat with it. You're thinking now, so typical steamboat. I would like to take you guys to the situation from these waters. Helicopter is a great way to see the city if the boat doesn't feel for you. You might see the city around, and you want to see it above. Put the helicopter to 189 hours per person, 52 minutes. But if you want to see in and out, comes out on Saturday, which is tomorrow. And I'll take you guys over to Brooklyn Bridge on Mike. Now we're in Lower Manhattan. This is where we have the New York Stock Exchange. A lot of money is moved down here. And a lot of money is held down here. Because we also have the New York Federal Reserve. So the New York Federal Reserve BMW. I'll have to get the British way of order. So, can you get the British again? The government spending here in Britain, Dumbo, Bushwick, Williamsburg, is German folks, it's just like a major food court. It has food for cultures all over the world. Brazilian food, Philippine food, Italian food. We see a bunch of street carts, and it's kind of by out of towners. Can you guys give me the 5 girls over here? I'll go this way. What's that? Queens. We got Queens. What do you want to Queens? The Rams? The Yankees fan? Are you going to say something wrong with you? You're so far out there. But how? We're pushing the number. We're pushing the number. Yeah. The fireworks from July 4th, we shout out to the burning up on these boats. Over here, we have a very called Burning Heights. You see that promenade, we see the walking floor. You see that people walking around the hallway. Over there, see? You walking into the bar and you're Если вы увидели так, то правильно делаете. А может,